One. We are live. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Prosper Performance Podcast. This is EP 7, special EP. I am your host, Jay, here with my co-host, Gabe. We got a special guest today. My man, Tyrone Betters is in the building. What's good with you, bro?
What it do, man? How everybody doing?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
If y'all don't know, Tyrone is actor, model, about to do a bodybuilding show, fitness. So, all around entrepreneur, all around focus on performance, becoming the best version, pretty much what we focus on here on this podcast. So yeah, basically for the outline, we just want to dive into his mind, get all the gems, all the value we can, chop it up, have a good convo. Y'all know how we rocking. So yeah, let's get started. TB, what's good?
What's good with you?
What's good? What's good?
My youngin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of my mentors in the game, man. So really to start, I think a good background for everybody is just, reflect on your journey. I know you've been in the game for a minute. It's been about 10 years, since you started the journey of acting, modeling, and just really walk us through that process, where you started at, where you at now, and just, run it back for us. I think that would be a good place to start.
For sure. So growing up, like for most of the time, I was just always trying to find what I wanted to do. I played basketball, but I really wasn't that good. So I tried it, didn't work out. I wanted to dance, tried it, didn't work out. So my freshman year of college, this back in 2008, fall 2008. So my freshman year in college, I was just going through the motions. I knew what my major was, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I went to go try out for this dance team, and I missed it by a day. So I walked in and they having tryouts for a fashion show called Black Shit on our campus. I went to Georgia Southern University. So they was like, you want to audition for being in the fashion show? I said, I ain't doing that. Why not? And so in 2008, at this time, I went like baggy clothes and all that stuff. Did not look the part at all. So I paid my $5, had printed off some pictures. Then I walked. I was trash. My first walk was trash. I didn't know what I was doing. Then I ended up making it, and so we practicing every day. So we practicing 2 hours a day, every single day. But the show not until the next semester, but they want to make sure we on point. So we practicing, and I'm practicing. Then I'm starting to work on my posing, looking in the mirror and stuff. And I was like, bro, I think I can do this. Then what was like a key factor, like I went to Walmart. I remember this video. I went to Walmart to go pick up some underwear. I looked on the cover, I looked on the package, it was like Hanes or whatever. I looked on the package, I was like, bro, this dude, I'm killing this dude now. Like whoever this guy right here, my ass is killing this guy.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm finna do it. I didn't really have any direction. I had a friend that was into modeling and stuff when I was in undergrad, but other than that, I was just trying stuff, bro. So a lot of it just came from like trial and error. So back in that time, it's a site called Model Mayhem. Now it's not really that big now, but back then it was like a place where you could get like test shots or little things like that. So when I wasn't on campus in Georgia, I was back home here in Dallas, just auditioning for stuff and then just working my craft. So let's say I can go through each time step. So I got my start fall 2008 going to 2009. And then after that, it's just training. So I'm doing runways, doing fashion shows, doing photo shoots, doing TFP shoots, pretty much it's time for print. And trying to figure my niche out, right? So I always thought I was gonna be this high fashion model or whatever, but I didn't really realize like you gotta be pretty much 6 foot and up as a male, as a male model. He's really 6'2", so 6'1", 6'2". So I wasn't really paying attention until I was about 21, and I got on a Crave cover magazine search. So I made the top 3. It was me, this guy named Brian, and this guy, my frat brother named Keith Carlos, who actually ended up being the first one of America Next Top Model. So it was cold. At that point in time, we did the competition. I've been modeling for 3 years. He been modeling for 2 weeks. So I say that to say, like, sometimes when it's your time, it's your time. Whether if it's 2 years, whether if it takes 2 weeks for you to pop, everybody journey different.
Yeah.
So after that check mark of doing that, I met Willie Johnson. So Willie Johnson is a mentor of ours.
Shout out to Godfather.
And the Godfather. If you ever in Dallas and you model, you not stamped until he stamped you. That's a fact. And these are only facts that I deal with.
Yeah.
So he was just helping me train, and he told me, hey, you probably need to get into some acting classes or whatever so you can do that. In my mind, I'm a model. I ain't trying to do all that acting stuff for the guy. So I moved back to Texas after my after I graduate, 22 at the time. So I get into my first acting class. So it was introductory to commercial acting. So I did that. The next semester, I did introductory to acting. And
pause in the journey real quick.
Yeah.
So at this time, are you fully aware that this is your lane, or are you still trying to figure out as far as, is this really what I want to pursue in life? Because I know that's a pivotal time in a lot of people's lives that graduate in college, 22, I'm 22, that's pivotal for me. Like, I dropped out. So I know Gabe is in a similar situation. So it's like, was that something, or you were just kind of going with your gut?
22, I knew I was going to be a model. Like, I was sold. Like, there was no convincing me otherwise. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I knew it was gonna happen. And I was like, shit, I'm sold on it. Now, throughout the journey, we're gonna get more into it. Of course, I quit, or I've decided I'm never gonna do this again, or this, that, and the third. But at 22, my mind was set up and made up. Okay. Now, as far as acting, I didn't know nothing about acting. I had to take, those are the 2 first classes I took. I thought I was going to audition for a play when I was in school, but I never auditioned for one. I ain't know nothing about acting. So I'm 23, taking my first couple of classes. I'm trash. I'm like, horrible. Yeah. And then, but just like with anything, I was horrible at modeling before too, until I got good. And that came with timing and preparation. And doing the same thing over and over again, working on your techniques, working on your skill set, working on the things that you're not good at, and making yourself stronger in those. Mm-hmm. So yeah, at one point in time, I wasn't good at acting, but I got good at acting because I put the work in, right? So just fast forward a little bit. So between modeling and acting, I've pursuing for the last 5 years in my earliest, so around 23, 24. I didn't book my first paid gig till I was 24 years old. Mind you, I started I was 18. I didn't book my first paid gig where they handed me money until I was 24. So it took 5-6 years of just learning.
Yeah.
Working. It took time, it took patience. There are definitely times I want to quit. Like, am I supposed to be doing this? I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but my route not the same as everyone else, because I ain't just walking around here 6'2". I'm 5'9", if that, sometimes, depending on what shoes I got on. So it's like, so it's like, you just got to keep getting good, right? So
honing that craft.
And if anything, that's the most important thing that I talk about, because a lot of people hop in the game and somebody tell them they a model and they an actor and they've been doing it, they'll be doing it for 6 months. Like, why am I not booking? Why am I doing something? I'm like, bro, you're not good. I'm just being honest. Like, you have natural ability, don't get me wrong, but you ain't putting enough skin in. You ain't putting enough time in. Like, I'm not saying that nobody can't take off or whatever. That I'll never say that, because everybody's road is different. But what I will say is, if you just got started 6 months ago and you're expecting to just be booked out this world, then somebody sold you a dream, or you just not being realistic. And we definitely you have to be unrealistic with your goals and your passions, but you have to be realistic with the preparation to get to your goals and stuff. Right?
You got to roll. That's a bar.
So what I mean by being unrealistic is, I can be anything that I want to be because I believe it. But in realistic, I have to put the work in. Realistically, you have to put the work in. It's not just you can't just, oh, I want to be an actor, and then you sit on the couch all day. You don't read a book, don't do a class, you don't do nothing. Like, I'm not always in class. I'm take bunch of classes all the time, but I'm always creative mode. And plus I'm booked more than ever now. Yeah. So to come back through on the journey. So
they gotta hear that one more time. Be unrealistic with your goals and be realistic with the preparation it's gonna take to get there. It's cool to have the big aspirations, but I think what's important is going back and really, dissecting and making a plan of how do you get there. If I want to be, on, movies and all this type of stuff, it's going to take hella acting classes. Like Michael B. Jordan is taking acting classes to this day. Denzel, all these big actors, they still honing that craft. So that's a fire bar. Yeah.
And it just means always remain a student in whatever you're doing. If you doing lifting, if you're doing lifting and you're doing exercise, you should always remain a student, because it's like, I know everything. But if you know everything, then you're capped at your limit. As soon as you say you know everything, you're capped. That means you don't have the tenacity to learn more or to add more to it. So even though I've been doing this for so many years, I'm still a student. I'm still a student first.
Always got to be a student.
And that's just it. So I got my first booking at 5 years in. I didn't get signed until 7 years in with my first agency. And then that's when things started happening. So I was going through, let me say 2017, 2018, I was going through a little stuff, mentally blocked, didn't know what I really wanted to do. And I gained hella weight. So I was walking around 205 with beard belly, beard out, everything. And I was just like, and I moved up to Tulsa with my girlfriend at the time. And I was just like, man, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm trying to find myself, trying to figure this stuff out. Then lo and behold, when I'm up there, I just look it up. I looked up agencies. I said, well, I'm already signed to Dallas. I'll just put up my resume and stuff and I'll just send it out to the people. So I sent it out to this agency. The next day, they emailed me, called me on the phone, and they offered me to sign me. I didn't have to audition. I have to do nothing. They just went off of my resume. Mm-hmm. So when I'm in Tulsa, I'm working at Sketches at the time. So in my mind, I'm like, let's see if I can do this job and come up with a formula where I can do the job and do my acting and stuff. So I'm working Sketches, and then I start booking out the woodwork. Like I booked Brahms, I booked some other stuff, an old shoot that I did, I booked with them. And so I'm driving back and forth, and still making sure I get to work on time to make sure I do what I got to do. I've always stayed. I stayed in my bosses. I made sure I made a good connection with my boss. So I was like, look, I do this, so I'll come in or I'll be a little bit late. Like, and she was like, okay, let's go. So once I did that, I was in Tulsa for 8 months. And I was like, you know what? If I can do the same exact thing in Dallas, I know for a fact I'll be successful. So I just prayed on it and said, God, look, if you provide and make the way, I'm going to put the work in. This is what I want to do. And if we going all in, I'm going to go all in. At that very moment, I said, nothing else. Acting is number one. Of course, I have to have a job. Of course, I got paper stuff. But acting and modeling will always be number one. I guarantee that, Father. Next thing I know, I'm moving back. Started 2018. It was slow a little bit at first. I got into end of 2018, it was moving kind of slow. I moved into my apartment at that time at the end in November of 2018. At the start of the year of 2019, I booked, and I've been booked every month since. From 2019 to 2021, outside of COVID, things happen in COVID and stuff. Yeah. I've been booked every month.
So 19, that was your 8th year in the game.
8th year in the game.
And booked
8th year in the game. No, 19 was, my bad, 19 was my 10th, 11th year in the game. Okay. I started in 08.
True, yeah.
I started in 08.
What speaks volumes to me about this is just like your patience, and you're able to lock down and like trust the craft and trust the timing of everything. Like that's something that's very rare. You don't find that with a lot of people now. and like everyone wants things quick, kind of what you were touching on. But like the things that you said that really stuck out to me and that point out to me that you're kind of a 1%er in that lane is the patience, like of all the things, because that's not easy to have, especially when there's a vision that only you have and no one else has it. You know, it gets frustrating to like to feel lonely in that category and in that lane.
Man, I was driving myself crazy, bro, because like I'm trying to be patient, but I also want it at that time. Right. So you just like trying to just stay true to the grind, right? But at the same time, bro, I'm ready for this now. I've been putting in all this work. I've been doing this and this, and then I used to have it bad where I'm like comparing my lane with the next person's lane, but the skill set I don't necessarily have his skill set. You know what I'm saying? So I have to continue to pay attention to what I got going on and then cheer the next person on. Once I started cheering the next person on, once I started cheering the next person on, once I started seeing that and then becoming a mentor to other people that's been trying to get in the game and they ask me for advice and stuff, and I give it out freely. Then the reason I give it out freely is because I don't want anybody to start off in a position the way I started. People sold me dreams, put me in a position I didn't really want to be in. You know, it's different things that I tell people to look out for and stay aware as much as possible, because I would hate for them to go through what I had to go through in the beginning stages, because that's what we're supposed to do. We have all this information. It's our job and it's our duty to reach out to the next person. That's what we're supposed to do. Now, I'm not saying that everybody deserves that. You go by what they ask for. People reach out to me all the time like, hey, can you help me get auditions? And then I'll ask them a couple simple questions. Do you have a resume? Have you ever did anything else before this and the third? And they'll say, oh, no, but I just really want to act. And I'm like, bro, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. Because I can't put my name on the line for you if you ain't going to put the work in.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Yeah. I'm only going to put my name on the line if I know that, I'm getting my headshots. Yes, I'm getting my resume. Yes, I'm this and the third. And then I can maneuver you to some different people that can help you align you to what you want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, so now I'm booked every month. Now I'm signed with 3 different agencies. Just signed with an agency in Atlanta, and I have a meeting with the agency in LA next week. So it's like not next week, the week after next. So now it's up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about timing, bro. Like timing is very key and important, because I started realizing like, because I have the foundation that I have, I can look at different things and move in a certain way. So there might be people that's doing more than me right now, but their foundation ain't the same as my foundation.
I like that a lot.
And that's
just a testament. And just like a house, right, just like anything, a big skyscraper building, an apartment complex, or even a small house, if it doesn't have a solid foundation, it'll crumble. It'll collapse. Because if you don't have you have to have a solid foundation in everything you do. And that means you have to have a solid business foundation about, all right, so these are different tools that I want to be about my business. And so you strengthen those different tools. And then as you continue to grow and elevate, you pour more into them.
And that's just also like that foundation, I call it like character building too. Is like over the time when you go through the trials and tribulations, that just really builds your character, so you could be at the level where you could handle. Like if you didn't go through all those trials and tribulations of character building, now at the point where you're at, where you're booking all the time, and you know, it takes, people don't understand the game because they're not in it. So it takes to, you know, stay connected with your agencies and, you know, be on all the bookings. When they call you for, oh, we need you to audition for this role, and you got to have it up in 2 hours. You feel me? You got to have that shit up in 2 hours, or you not
in 2 hours. As you can see, this is my audition backdrop. So I got my light set up and this and the third. Anytime my agent, hey, can you put this on film for me real quick? All right, bet, give me 30 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Knock it out, send it to her. All right, you got booked. So
I say that to say though, Tyrone.
Huh?
I say that to say what, because we want to give value and game to everybody who's listening. So what mental things are you saying throughout the journey to trust it? Because I know a lot of people after that second, third year of not even having to pay booking could fall off and just be like, damn, like this ain't for me? What gave you the mental fortitude, or what are you saying mentally? What, mental stuff are you saying to keep going and really to trust your journey? And like, what lessons have you really took that you can give the game to the people?
The biggest thing I told myself is I can do this, right? When I first said I wanted to model, it was everyone, hey, I don't know, bro, you short. I mean, you probably could do something, but I don't know how big you want to do this. It was just a lot of people that doubted, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I was fueled by that at first. I was fueled by proving people wrong that I can do this. One of the people that I wanted to prove the most was my dad, because it was like, I didn't realize where he was coming from at that time, because I wasn't mentally capable of just understanding at that time. I always felt like, dang, man, why you don't believe in me, this and the third? But I'm like, he's my dad. Of course he believes me. He wanted me at that time to just prepare myself for anything that might and can go wrong. And a lot of shit went wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just life happens. But the biggest thing that I told myself is I'm in it for the long haul, right? I've always been the underdog. And what do I mean by always been the underdog? I've always been the shortest, never been the most athletic, never been the most fit, I would never been the most handsome, never this and the third. So it was always somebody else that got more credit. It was always somebody else that people just gravitated to more. I've always been the underdog. I've always been in the shadows, right? But I always stuck to my grind. I always put out consistent work. Consistently, working wise, whether it's acting stuff or whether it's modeling stuff, all my shit hot, all my shit dope, everything that I put out, it means something, right? So I just told myself I'm in it for the long haul. Yeah. And that consistency is key, because what people don't realize is people want to see growth in your work. The stuff you was doing 10 years ago, you can't do 10 years later. You should always be elevating and evolving. Always work on my body, right? There's been times I've been fat. There's been times I've been skinny. So usually around the beginning of this, I'm going to just even say 3 months ago, I was 205. Right now, I'm sitting at 187. And I'm still about to lose. I got to lose another 7-6 pounds by next week, but I can do that. Yeah. But all of that happened. And then you saw what I look like at the play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, so shredded.
Shredded.
Yeah.
To the nines. Shredded. But I put in my mind, I put it in motion 2 years ago when I got back into the weight room. I was like, look, if I can get, this was 2 years ago now.
They'll hear you.
Listen, 2 years ago, I told myself, look, if you can get in the best shape of your life, everything can change. Yeah. 28 at this time, not even 38. 28, no, 2 years, 29. I was 29 at the time, not even 30 yet. So I'm turning 29. I was like, bro, if you can get your body to look the way you want that thing to look, you can do this. You can do everything else, because this it's a looks industry. You have to look good. You gotta look good. Got this and that. Abs are the number one substitute on men. So I said, bet, let's put it in motion. It took time, bro. I didn't get fit overnight. COVID hit. I bounced back up, but everybody bounces back up on COVID because you're eating, you're doing these different things, but you still have the shape, if that makes sense. You still have your shape when you gain weight and all this stuff. So now it's like, all right, what do we got to do to dial back? This year I got a coach. Last year when I did bodybuilding for the first time, I didn't have a coach. I did some good things, but it was a whole bunch of stuff that I could have worked on. So this year I got a coach, and my coach whooped my ass. He got me right. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Anytime that, and I'm just thinking about all the times that I can now do shoots and stuff and feel comfortable taking my shirts off. I don't really have to hold my abs in. It's so many different things that it all goes back to the main thing. The main thing is be globally known. Be globally known. Right? That's the vision. Be globally known. Be a household name. If I'm a household name, that means I'm in movies. That means I'm in television. That means I'm in commercials. People always see me in commercials. And I say this. I knew I was on the right path because I had 3 commercials come back to back to back that was on TV. And my granny and my granddad, they called and said, Tyrone, we just seen all your commercials just come on. I was like, hey, right?
Yeah.
And I also, another key thing is take advantage of every opportunity, right? Mm. If you follow me on IG, it looks like I do a lot. And I do from time to time. But the biggest thing is I work those opportunities, right? If it's a play.
You put me on game on that, yeah.
If it's a play, I'm going to post everything about the play. I'm going to post during the play. I'm going to post the hype before the play. I'm going to do this and the third. And I'm going to hype it up as much as it needs to be. As much as I can hype it, right? It's not about doing a whole bunch of stuff and then posting it all individually. It's, shoot, if I got this one thing, I'm going to work every angle of it. I'm going to do it behind the scenes of me at the photo shoot. I'm going to do some different things of us at the photo shoot. I'm going to post what's going on in the area. And then when it's time to put out the final product, I put out the final product. Then I go to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? You take every advantage. You squeeze as much as you can at the opportunity. And sometimes some opportunities don't come with paychecks, right? Now, I'm not saying work for free. I'll never say work for free. But what I am saying is recognize the opportunity. Because sometimes that opportunity can turn into something else. I've done shoots for free before and it turned into bread because somebody like me, oh, we want to book you for something. So sometimes you just got to understand what are they asking for, right? If a client is asking, hey, we don't really have to pay, but we're using such and such and such and such. And I go and I look back, I'm looking at the cinematographer, I'm looking at the photographer, I'm looking at everybody that's gonna be on the project. I said, oh no, this is a no-brainer because now I'm networking, right? Now I have my Rolodex is growing and we getting fire content. That fire content can get you paid. I get paid, I get booked off my Instagram alone, right? We're not even going to my my resume. Because if I pull out my resume, like, oh, okay, yeah, let's audition you for this, right?
And that's the dope thing about having a resume is because it lives forever. You feel me? Like it stacks. You feel me? All the stuff that you've been doing. Like I think a lot of time people be having a short-sighted vision of like, I'm doing this, but what's it leading to? I'm doing this for free, you know, like I'll do like a free shoot or something like that. I'm doing this for free. What's it leading to? But now you got, like you said, the content. Now you got stuff to put on your resume to where it's like, I done did this. Now when you got a big paid opportunity and they asking for what's your work, now you got something to show for it. And now you can only connect the dots looking back. So
there's a lot of people who will ask to be paid or such and so, what's your fee? Oh, I need this. And they were like, well, can we have any previous work? Well, I don't really have any previous work right now. But then I'm like, well, why would I pay you for something that you don't have? Why would I pay you to do something that I don't even know that you can do? You can't show me your work. This is why this is why it bothers me a lot of times when I see actors or entertainers or different people that are like public people, their page is on private. Why is your page on private? If you have to have your page on private, have 2 pages. And the reason I say that is don't nobody know what you do. Right? You submitting into all these casting, you submitting into all this work, you're doing all the different stuff. If I go on your page, I don't see not one monologue. I don't see not one commercial. I don't see not one anything. I just see you post other different stuff. Like, you're not trying to act. You're not trying to model. I'm not saying that you're not, but what I am saying is if these companies look at your page, they want to see that you active. They want to see that you don't have to have a whole bunch of followers. Some people want you to have a whole bunch of, are you active? Are you working? Are you consistently doing things, right? Because I consistently work, consistently booked. People want to continue to use people that are working, people that are maneuvering in their craft because they know they can trust them when they're on set. Right? And that just goes back into the whole other value. Case in point, we talking about just a lot of the things that you talk about is just about like business and building your own and having your own, and those different things, right? It's hard for people to listen to a CEO that don't have no skin in the game, or to a person that don't have no skin in the game. Meaning, how can you tell me to do something that you never pursued. You never put in the work in, never put the time in. I've never heard you help some other people, right? Just like a person that's talking about $1 million. Like, I can help show you how to make $1 million. Like, how? You never made $1 million. How can somebody that's never made $1 million tell you how to make $1 million?
It's a bar in this new Deontay Hitchcock song. He was like, you never touched the rim, but how you think I'm finna let you teach me how to dunk? It's like,
exactly.
It's
you
like,
never dunked before. How you gonna teach me how to dunk and you never dunked? It's not. I'm not saying that there's different coaches that's never played the game before. But what I am saying, those coaches put the time in to learn the game. So whether you played it or not, did you put the time in to learn the game? Did you put the time in to get the reps mentally? Because sometimes, even if you don't play, you got the mental reps. You was around it. You seen it, right? I'm pretty hey, Coach Kerr, Steve Kerr, right? He wasn't Michael Jordan, but he was around Michael Jordan. I'm sure some of that greatness gonna rub off on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you can see how a team operates. He wasn't coaching for the Bulls or the Spurs when he was playing, but shoot, when you were around greatness and you were around great coach, pretty sure you're gonna some of that's gonna instill on you. And so now look at him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily saying that because you never did, I'm not gonna listen to you. But what I am gonna say is, what's your resume? Like, what have you worked on? Who have you worked with? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta be mindful of the people that's giving you advice. Because some people will just be giving advice, but it's just you take the meat from anywhere. You take the meat from it, but it's just coming out of thin air. It's like one size does not fit all. But understand the principle. Right? Think about math. In math, you have variables, you have different exponents and everything, right? The problem never changes, right? The variable change, right? So when it comes to that problem, the problem is the problem. The variables change. So when I say one size doesn't fit all, this variable might not fit, you know what I'm saying? It might be a different variable. But as long as the principle or the problem is still the same, you can plug in and take out any type of information that you see, right? So this guy, Kevin Samuels, I don't know if y'all heard of Kevin Samuels. He does different things, right? People don't like his approach. They don't like how he talk to people, this, and the third. But we got to be mindful, right? This is not the first man to ever think like this. This is not the first man to move like this or whatever, but this is the first man to say it and have it televised. Sometimes you gotta learn how to take the meat out of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't like to hear what somebody is saying, especially when it's the truth. You call it hating. Oh, he's big, he doesn't like women, this and the third. But are you really listening? Because at the end of the day, when you start listening, you'll start learning like, I don't really feel everything he's saying, but he got some jewels that I can take. And that's just like with anything. You want to make sure that you take the meat of the conversation. Everything else might be fluff, but what keys did I take from the conversation that I can use in everything that I'm doing? And I said all of that to say that's how I've been able to just continuously move forward. Because at the end of the day, if you stop, and then you have to start back over. Right. Yeah. If you pause, you can gather yourself by pausing, understanding, still thinking creatively, doing all things. You're just pausing right now. You're not stopping anything. Right. And that's the difference. So
that's why you said that you was my bad, but you said like you was mentally in it for the long haul, and it's like the marathon. Like Nipsey got a quote. He like, you know, I done went through every emotion. The biggest thing I did from anybody else that's gonna pursue this is I just didn't quit. Like as long as you don't quit. You know,
you one step closer.
Yeah.
You one step closer. Whether it takes a year, Rick Ross said, as long as we don't waste no time, I don't care if it take a year, I don't care if it take 10 years. Are we moving quality? Are we making quality steps to move in the right direction? Yeah. Right? Because you can do a whole lot of moving and not going nowhere. That is a fact. It's people that'll do everything under the sun, but they're not going anywhere fast. Yeah, I've run into people that's in the industry. They're like, I'm booking this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Why ain't signed yet? Why ain't this? Why ain't this? Why ain't this? Well, a lot of the stuff that you book is not credible. It's not credible. And what do I mean by not credible? If a lot of your resume is full background work, so like you worked on television shows, you did background work, you did this, that, and the third, it's all cool. It's all supposed to help you grow to get to that bigger platform. But you're just a background actor, and you don't want to just be a background actor. Everybody, all actors have done background work, but at a certain point, in a certain point of your career, you have to elevate your standard, right? So if you've been doing background for 5 years,
I said elevate your standard. That's a bar. Like,
you gotta elevate your standard, and it's hard. It's not easy because it's uncomfortable to expect more. When I was doing personal bookings, I remember I did 50 an hour. I was doing 50 an hour. Then I was booking hella people, 50 an hour. They were booking for 2 hours or whatever, 50 hours. So, okay, cool. I'm going to 100. And it was like, oh shit, people still booking at 100. And then, you know, of course, anything's negotiable. It's just about their approach, right? Then I was like, fuck it, 150. Okay, cool, 150. So right now I'm sitting at 150, and then we'll probably go up again. So you have to monitor your work. You have to monitor how you want to be moved, because people will reach out. I guarantee it's people that's reached out that's like, Tyrone, we would love to work with you. What's your rate? I'll get a rate. What's the project about? What's this and the third? I will never hear from them again. Like, they don't text back, they don't follow up. I do a checkup just to see what they're doing, if they went to another direction. But you gotta maneuver your brand the best that you can maneuver your brand, right? Don't nobody care about your brand until they care about your brand. And what I mean is, when they reaching out to you, you hold all the cards. What does that mean?
I control the power.
I hope they listening, man. I hope they listening.
when somebody reaches out to you, you hold all the power, right? Because you wanted me. Never forget that. When they want me, all right, cool. What's it? So if somebody asks me why is my rate so high, I'm like, well, one, you came to me for a reason.
Yeah.
You came to me for a reason. I don't know what your reason was coming from me, but you came to me for a reason, because you seen my work, because you wanted to work with me, because you thought I could fit whatever you wanted me to do, right? We don't ask about, I only ask about the budget to make sure we can do this, that. Me personally, now the way I move, I don't work for free. I don't work for free. And by working not for free, that don't mean I'm finna just charge you over the head. I'm gonna come at your approach, right? If I say this, I
said, what you mean by that?
When I'm gonna come at your approach. If you approach me thinking I'm gonna do something for free, I'm not gonna work with you, because you didn't. For some reason, you just assume that because it's your project, I'm just supposed to do it because you have an opportunity for me to do it. Ma'am, I've been paid $2,500 for 2 hours on a commercial, right? Mm-hmm. So if I know for a fact I've been paid $2,500 for 2 hours, most people make that in a week. I've been paid $2,500 for 2 hours before for one project. I can't get out the bed and drive 40 minutes, and you can't at least cover gas.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll just ask, hey, take care of gas. I got you. If I think the project is dope, if I think the stuff that you're doing is dope, I have no problem with that, because I know me. I know what I can bring to a brand. But if you can't cover gas, there's nothing I can do for you, because you're not willing to invest in yourself. Bro, I put gas in my car. I'm the one that's driving 35 north going to Oklahoma City to go do work. I'm the one driving 35 south to go to Austin for an audition and to do work. I'm putting that time and that bread, and I'm pounding that pavement in my craft. So if you can't invest in yourself and in what you're trying to do, because you're finna sell your products, or you're finna sell this movie, and you're trying to make money off the movie, but you can't pay the people that's a part of the project or the movie, then you're not really investing in yourself. I don't do passion projects because that's charity. And I'm in show business. It's a business.
Yeah.
Right. And,
yeah.
and if I do decide to do something, we have to have that type of rapport. Right. It'd be people that I've never met before that'll reach out. Hey, I got this. This is a pet peeve. And this is all about in business, about an email. Because people are email like, hello, what's going on? What's your rate? Cool. What's the project? We need background. Always have information ready. The information is key because I'm not finna just, if you might have me modeling something that I don't really think I want to model. But because you don't have all the background and information, and that's what a lot of people out here in this city at least will say, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll do it. They don't know nothing about the play. They don't know nothing about the photo shoot. They don't know nothing about anything. They'll just do it. You can't just be so eager to work and do everything. You have to be specific and intentional in everything that you're doing. And that's
we back live.
So
bad
technical
difficulty, y'all. But yeah, as you were saying, TB.
Okay, yeah. So pretty much just be intentional with the things that you do. So whatever project that you work on, if you take on, let's say you have a client that you want to work with, if you're helping them with their business or whatever, right? You're not just going to help every client that comes in. They might have the money to do it, but does it align with what you do as how you ever project yourself on businesses? How do you help them? How do you maneuver them? If it's something that the way that they run their business you don't align with, you can't align yourself to that. So that means you can't just be a yes man in the game. You can't just say yes to every project that comes to you. You have to value in a way. I've auditioned for stuff. They want me to come read. I asked the lady one time, so mind you, she reached out to me. So she was like, well, if you want to sell tickets, you could probably get something off of that. But we gonna have shirts we're gonna give away, and we have just a whole bundle package that's worth like $1,000. Like people will say that. I'm like, man, I can't pay my rent with a t-shirt. So in my head, I was like, okay, cool. Call the next day. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to do this. Another lady, she saw me at a play, reached out to me being a play. And I was like, what's the breakdown, this and the third, and what's the budget, right? She sent me all the information. She said, okay, well, I need this. This is what I said. I said this, right? All she did was email me back. She said, okay, but we went into another direction. It's cool. You went into another direction because you didn't want to pay the talent. And then you found a talent that'll just do the work. That's cool. I have nothing against that. But just understand, when you book Tyrone Betters, you get everything that come with me. And I don't care if whatever the price we negotiated, that's fine. You took the time out to put money into my craft and what I'm doing. I'm gonna give you the best of me. That's why you see me all the time. I'm tagging the different shirts and stuff that I wear. I'm tagging the different clothing I wear. Do they promote me all the time? They don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's respect. It ain't no disrespect or whatever. But as my brand grows, everything around me gonna grow. You just have to know it, and you have to speak it matter of factly. It's a matter of fact that I'm going to make it. It's a matter of fact that I'm going to be successful. And it's a matter of fact that everything I touch and everything that I do will prosper. These are different things that I just say to myself throughout the day sometimes, and then I just look in the mirror and I'm always talking greatness into myself, right? The moment that you say that I can't do something or I won't do something, this and third, you're right. You're correct in your assessment. And the reason that you're correct is because only you can determine if you want to make it or not, right? It's not about circumstance, because circumstances happen, things that are out of our control happen, don't get me wrong. But you see, when you align yourself with your calling and you align yourself with what you've already asked God for something for him to bless you with. Only thing God will do is bless you with the opportunity. You got to put the work in. God ain't just going to allow you to be in a position to where you're not ready. If you were ready, you would have it. So now you just continuously putting in that time, that effort, and that in building your skill set. At 31, I was 19 when I started, 18, 19 when I started, I'm 31 now. I'm still learning. I said that before. I'm still a student. I'm still understanding. I'm still trying to figure this all out.
Gabe, you got any takeaways or questions?
Just the self-awareness was big for me, that like I related to him about with what he was just saying, like talking about his worth, and like kind of just like giving himself that confidence just through that self-talk, and through that just reaffirming himself and giving himself that confidence. That's big time, especially with your brand, because that's your life. Like that's how you're going to feed your family, so you got to have all the faith, like all cards in on that. And so like I got a lot of respect for that, because that takes a lot. And it, especially just like putting yourself out there consistently, like you got to have the confidence. And that's what I think some people struggle with, is like they're not able to put themselves out there because deep down they're not okay with themselves at times. So it's like there's a lot of self-awareness that comes into play with that. And that's something that we touch on all the time. Like so many people want to do these things. And I think another reason, kind of touched on earlier in your story when you were talking about you were getting a lot of hate from people and a lot of like kind of doubt from people. They're just projecting themselves onto you because they're not okay with themselves as well. Like they see you like pursuing these things, and they see the confidence you have, and like the push and the drive that you have, and just like the attention to detail that you have, and they're lacking those things. So instead of trying to like really support you and be on board with you, they're trying to throw like low key hate with the comments that they say, even though it might not be direct. It's because they wish that they were in that position that you were, but they're not willing to really lock in and do the work and perfect the craft like you were, and that's kind of something that I'm just experiencing as well. Just like not even with really people around me in my direct circle, but just kind of in the environment I'm in, the area I'm in, like there's not a lot of people really willing to hone in on their craft and like be alone with themselves in their own lane, and I think that's very, very powerful. And it's really just like, it's all money in on yourself,
It is. Just like Nip said, man. And you just got to remember, like, there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. Like, there's days I'm down, there's days I'm not feeling, there's days I might doubt myself. But those are few and far in between. You can't feed those days. What happens is we start feeding those different things. We start feeding into that fear. We start feeding into that doubt. And that's where we get confusion from. But you have, like I said before, it's called matter of fact. You have to be so in tune with what you're supposed to be doing that nothing surrounded by you deter you from going in there. You can ask Javian. I am one of the shortest people that's gonna walk in the room, but you're gonna feel me. And what do I mean by feel me? When I'm around, you're gonna feel my presence. You're gonna know that I'm here, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not 6'2". I'm not the most muscular. I'm not this and the third, but when I'm here, and you gonna know I'm here. Whether I say anything or not, it's just because of how I carry myself, because I'm so in tune with who I am that people gravitate toward me and they just want to come ask a question, or they want to just listen to her. That's how you carry yourself, right? And a lot of it is just not. It's not about just speaking. It's about movement. It's about power. It's about energy. When you have that covering over you, you have that energy inside of you, people gonna gravitate to it, just like Buzz gravitates to light. You know what I'm saying? When you got that glow about you, people can't deny it. They can't deny it. It's not about being a certain height. It's not about being a certain look or anything. And then once you get their attention, it's your job to teach them something. And what I mean by teach them something, if they ask you a question or if they're looking for insight about something, then you give them clear, concise information, right? Just like I said all throughout here, right? So one of the biggest things was your pursuit has to be unrealistic with your goals, but you have to be realistic with your work ethic, with the time that you put in to do those different things, right? That's for real, right? Acting, modeling, all this stuff is make believe.
So let's make that a turning point right here, because like we want to get the actionable tips, and I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't touch on is what specific performance tips do you have for people as far as staying focused? You know, what's your routine look like? How are you so consistent? You know, how are you able to push and work ethic? Because a lot of people just get lost and they say, you know, we always hear just put the work in, just put the work in, but people don't like to get down to the nitty gritty.
What is the work to put in?
Yeah, what's the tips? What's the tactics?
So the tactics that I use, right? I know I should write stuff down. I write things down, little notes every once in a while. But I just put that time into understanding, all right, what are my three main goals for the year? What's my three main goals for the year, right? Last year, it was, I want to at least do a play. I want to do a play. And look, they're all obtainable. You know what I'm saying? It's just about the timing of each one of them. I want to do a play. I want to be in a national commercial. And I want to sign to an agency. Bam. Little things like that. All right, so if I know I want to sign to an agency, I got to put the work in. So what do? I'm going to go to an acting class, right? Sometimes there's classes that'll last for like 8 weeks. You can go to a different type of course. Any type of course that you can do that's pertaining to your field, do that course, whether it's $300, whether it's free, whatever. You have to invest in being better, right? You're not the best version of yourself. None of us are the best version of ourselves. We are only continuously growing into the best version of ourselves. So what we feed our mind, what we feed our grind, what we feed our passion, it'll exuberate that. It'll show in the work.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show in the work. So what you feed everything. So you're feeding your mind, you're feeding yourself with, dang, as an actor, I don't know much about Shakespeare. So the class that I took had Shakespeare in it. Wasn't good at it, but I understood it. I got it, right? I'm never going to use Shakespeare. There's never going to be a time I'm going to use Shakespeare, right? But I have an understanding of that, and it's helped me grow as an actor. When I'm doing plays, I'm so far into the play that I'm trying to get a better understanding of the character, right? I use plays as a way of training, because with plays is one shot and that's all you get, right? You're on stage. There is no stop. There is no redo. There is none of that. If you mess up on stage, you have just messed up on stage. And that's just how it is.
Is everything training for you, or do you, because I know, you know, sometimes people view things as like they big break, or is everything just a stepping stone?
Everything is a stepping stone. My big break ain't my big break until it's my big break. Yeah, meaning everybody big break is different. So if you think doing a play is your big break, then you use that and you continuously move that. But if it ain't moving the needle for me, nah, what else we got? What else we gonna do? What else we gonna do? Personally, my big break until I'm a guest star. If I don't have a guest star appearance or recurring role in a series, television series, I haven't made it yet. If I don't have a multiple bookings, SAG bookings for different shows, haven't made it yet, right? So we just working until we get there. What is working until we get there look like? Continue to do plays so you can learn, to continuously be in classes and continuously thinking creatively, right? I'm only speaking from the acting perspective, but even in a business perspective, if I am a CEO or if I am a entrepreneur and I'm working on different things, right? So if I know that let's say I'm in investments or whatever, I have a good change of money, right? But I don't know what to invest in. Well, I'm going to start taking investment classes and understanding what is my dollar doing. If I like real estate, let me understand what real estate is. Let me understand. If I want to have my hands in something, I have to understand what I'm doing, because sometimes you can just throw money at it, but shit, you don't know what you're throwing the money at. You don't know where it's going. You always want to stay prepared with that information, whether it's being an entrepreneur, an investor, all the way down to becoming an actor, right? You have to strengthen your abilities. So when somebody books you, oh, I know he can do this because I've seen him put the work in, or I know he can do this because his resume, this is what you can show, right? People are so enamored with Instagram, and we know this. People be enamored with Instagram. They be booked all on Instagram doing all these different things, right? They have thousands of followers and everything. They don't know how to act. They not to the capacity of understanding how to act. They have to go to class. If Denzel Washington still going to class, what makes you think you can't go to class? Denzel Washington's been in hundreds of movies.
Yeah. He's that guy. Like,
he is
you
that
thinking
guy.
of a black actor, you know, that guy. He is that guy.
Yeah. If he's still taking classes, what makes you think you can't take no class, right? These models, they are always in tune with themselves, learning different angles, learning your lighting, different things like that, right? They all go hand in hand. So
TB, I find it really hard to believe that you're not writing stuff down though, because you're so consistent as far as, I mean, even fitness and just the consistent content and just like, you know, you own your shit. Is it just, I'm really trying to figure out the secret here. Like, is it the, that's it. I mean, it's no secret. It's just, so like when something pops up, is it just like you attack it? Because that's what Gabe talked about, like just attack stuff when it comes up and just don't wait, don't procrastinate on it. Because it's just like, I remember you had told me, you was like, you know, a lot of people have this posting schedule. When I want to post, I'll just post. So is it just like, you know, is that it? Or
a lot of it is just discipline and just understanding that I know my word fire. Right? I'm in tune with myself, right? And when I say things, people, it might rub people the wrong way because like, damn, this dude full of himself for this and the third, but it's not on purpose. You know, it's on, shit, everybody told me I couldn't do something. 10 years later, I'm still here doing it.
Y'all made me like this.
Y'all made me like this. You made me like this. Y'all said I couldn't do it. People have literally told me I can't do this, that, and the third because I'm too short. Because I'm not sexy enough for this and the third, but I'm still here, right? There's plenty of people that post all day on Instagram, bro. I got tons of commercials running right now.
Yeah.
But it's not about me saying, it's not about me telling you I got tons of commercials. It's just, I know I put the work in. Yeah. Anytime my agent's doing their job, I'm doing my job, my agent's doing their job, and we doing what we're supposed to do so we can all make it. I'm making sure that I'm putting myself in the best position to be as physically fit, as good looking or whatever as possible to book that big break, right? They're not putting a whole bunch of fat dudes on these sexy roles, bro. I'm just gonna be honest. You gotta be in shape for this. You gotta be mentally in shape and physically in shape. You know what I mean? And then you have to walk with assertiveness. What do I mean by walk with assertiveness? I know when I walk in the room, I'm a book it. Whatever I do, I'm a book it. It's not about booking it. You have to believe you're going to do something before you actually do it. You've seen my transformation. I saw it before I saw it. What does I saw before I saw it mean? I saw me being successful. I saw me being a working model / actor.
Vision.
I saw me being in shape. I saw all of these different things before I saw it. I think that's meaning it. I stayed so focused on the vision of what I had for myself that I ain't stopped until I saw what I saw for myself.
And I want to touch on some stuff that you're saying, and I'm gonna let Gabe go. It's like, I think that's it. Like, because as I do that work of seeing stuff, because like, you know, in my journey in fitness, you know, I used to be super skinny. I told my friends I was getting big and they just laughed like straight up in my face. Oh, you think you about to get big? Laughed at my shit, whatever. But I had that vision of just like, I'm gonna do this. And then stuff just start happening naturally. Like, you don't even gotta, it's not a thing. It's just like what you have to do. It's just like that natural progression. So that, and also how you said that type of stuff fuels you. I like to call it the dark side. You know, some people like to suppress that, act like it's not there, but like that, you made me like this, really turn you up. Like, I really, it's like, I think it's needed. Like the haters and just like, I know me and Gabe was talking earlier about like the negativity and just like, I mean, even you was touching on like just all that type of stuff. It's just like that dark side that oftentimes give you that industry that you need. It's just like, it's there. You might as well use it and harness it to the craft and get better with it.
Man, I've seen people that I've worked with or people that I've been around. They be like, man, it really ain't no actors or models out here that don't take this stuff serious or this, that, and the third. And they be talking about people they want to work with that they've reached out and didn't look out or this, that, and the third. But I'm like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Why you don't want to invest it in me?
Yeah.
What about me doesn't look like I go hard?
Oh,
so,
bet.
So you trying to tell me I have to make it before you start paying attention? That's cool. But by the time you paying attention, the fee up. The fee up.
It's too late.
It's a fee. I was gonna rock with you if you would have just rocked with me, but now it's a fee. I'm not finna just look out for you because you helped me one time. People help you one time, and then when you start doing stuff, oh yeah, you know I made him or this and that. I'm like, bro, you gave me one opportunity. That opportunity didn't do nothing for me except for become a post. I ain't get no money from that opportunity. I appreciate you for that opportunity, but you can't go around telling people that you made me when I put the work in, man. I can't let you do that. Yeah. Can't let you do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but what you about to say something?
Yeah, I just had a quote that I tell all my athletes all the time, and something I tell them as well before I tell this quote is it's a similar thing. Like, you got to envision yourself making the plays. If you're going to do them, you got to see yourself actually doing it. And the quote I had that I talked to them last week about is the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge. I think that's a perfect quote. That's from MLK, and I just feel like that resonates with a lot of things that have been said and will continue to be said, because like it's easy like to feel like you have it all the time and be in a moment of comfort, like if you have consistent cash flow or consistent income, consistent calls for jobs, whatever. But those moments when you have nothing and like there's your back's against the wall and there's nothing coming in, there's no money, like that's when you really start to find out who you are. Like, are you willing to continue to put the work in, continue to input into your craft?
And that's 100% right.
We're gonna wrap it up here soon, but I want to shift into basically what Gabe was saying and ask you, TB, because I know you going into some new journeys now. You know, you have a baby on the way and things like that, and that's like,
congrats,
girl.
Yes, sir. Congrats again. So I know that we have spoken to private conversations and different stuff like that, but if you want to just touch on what that has done mentally and just like, you know, what changes is going through. Like, I know that's like huge, you know, I'm not there yet, and it's, you know, different. Touch on that.
What's crazy, for the last year and a half, so even through COVID, you know what I'm saying, my girlfriend, we got our baby on the way, I just realized it's not about me. The biggest thing that I learned is it's not about me anymore. My pursuit is not about me. It's about us. And what do I mean by us? Me, my baby, of course, my family, and all those different things. Like, I don't feel responsible to bring everybody with me. I feel responsible to make sure I'm providing for my girl and my daughter. That's the biggest thing that's been on my mind. She's not even here yet, but my hustle has been so much stronger, right? And when I say about my hustle, I'm not just out here trying to get every single dollar and this and the third. My hustle means I'm putting myself in a position to be successful, so that I can be booked, so that I can be prepared, ready. So my audition setup is all good. So then when it's time to go, it's time to go, right? Signing with an agency in Atlanta, about to sign with an agency in LA. Like, these are the tools that you put in place to where, bam, everybody working, I'm working. Hey, Tyrone, can you come out here to LA so you can do this shoot? Bam, I'm in LA to go do this shoot. Hey, Tyrone, we need you in Atlanta. So bam, I'm in Atlanta. We putting in the proper tools to be successful. So that all trickles down from how can I best support my girl and how can I best support my baby girl, right? And so then it's like, all right, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what's going to happen. But the sacrifices come with that too. Hey, I need to go to work. I need to go get this bread. I need to go do these Uber Eats jobs. I need to go to Amazon and work this gig or whatever. These are the things that you just have to do so that you can feed your family, right? Even though bulk of my stuff that feed my family are the checks that come in from the commercials I do, because they add up. They add up when you start booking them left and right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about being a discipline. So I think even though I'm disciplined, I'm more disciplined, understanding that I have a lot of work to do to make sure that I'm providing for my family.
Yes, sir. I fuck with that. Sacrifices, discipline, the shit people don't want to hear. You know, I've been having this pain concept in my head lately of like, you really gotta, if you want to grow, man, it's gonna be painful. And you know, that's the shit people don't want to hear. The discipline, the sacrifice. Yeah.
Growth is painful. You have to tear the muscle fibers. You have to tear them so that they can re-heal to grow bigger. So the fiber has to be broken. You have to do that. Growth does not come without pain, bro. It does not. It does not come without pain. It does not come without trials. It does not come without those things. But you so much better on the other side after you go through those things. After you go through the crying at night because you don't know what you're gonna do. You got into a car wreck or this and the third. After all of those different things, that is part of your testimony to your greatness. Everybody has their own testimony, right? So mine is, I started off one way, I thought something was gonna happen, and I'm still here, right? What comes with longevity comes a responsibility of passing down that knowledge. All this game I got, we can write books about it or this and the third, but I take people under my wing that I know are serious about what they're trying to do, because I have the connections. That ain't nothing. The connections ain't nothing, especially in Dallas. Like, if anything in Dallas that you're trying to do, I'm pretty sure I can connect you to the person that can get you to that. But I have to know that you're willing to put in the work to be great. Case in point, TJ. Yeah. And TJ and Antonio, both of them, right? Yep. Me and Antonio went to high school together.
Shout out TJ and Antonio for the one time. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So TJ, 18 years old. I was 24. I was 25 at the time. He was like, "Hey, bro, I'm getting into modeling and stuff. I just want to." I always gave him pointers. Dipped, came back. So now he's around 23. So around 22 at this time, he asked me, "Yo, what do I need to do?" I set him up. I told him, set all of these accounts up, get you some of these. Also, go to this expo audition. His name is Willie Johnson. You need to get in right with him. Bam. One thing about TJ, he knew how to take pictures. He knew how to connect with different people, this and the third. That ain't gonna give you no money. What's gonna give you some money? Booking these commercial gigs, booking these bigger gigs, and he got commercials going on and all that stuff now. But he was disciplined enough to understand, if this is something I want to do, let me listen to the guy that's been doing it and can tell me how to do it, right? So I don't have to go through those different missteps, right? Sometimes when it comes to being a mentor, it's not about me forcing you to be a mentor. I'm not forcing me to be your mentor. My thing is, what knowledge do you need from me? Even when I come with you, I was telling you, when you're doing your acting, I still remember to this day, when we did the expo, when you're doing your acting, don't worry about the time. The last thing you need to worry about is the time. If the time is the time, give everything you can to that character within that time frame. Whether you're doing your scenes, whether you're doing the code read, or whether you're doing whatever you're doing, give yourself the time to evoke and be a part of that commercial or of that scene at that time. Then boom, I tell you,
sir.
That's not because of me. That was because you put the work in. All you needed was the direction. I don't take ownership for your greatness. All I say is, man, I just told him, I just gave him a little bit of information. If he used it, he used it. If he didn't, he didn't. That's what a mentor is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So I take that same thing and I evolve that into everything that I'm doing. Right? If I know you, people think I'm young. I look young. Don't get me wrong, but at 31,
like, don't crack.
There's certain different ways I'm just not gonna move. But when a person comes to me and they ask me different things, it's like, it's my job, it's my duty to make sure that you are as equipped as possible for you to be successful. Because me steering you the wrong way Man, God gonna see that too. God gonna see both ways. He sees your heart and how you do. So I'm very intentional with my relationship. I'm very intentional when I grab a hold of somebody and I see their greatness, and then they start walking in their greatness. Then it's like, oh no, he gone. He doing what he supposed to do.
That's
right?
The best feeling right there.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, it's what I said before. It's bigger than me. It's not about me. Me being good only gonna put me in the door. Everything else is just favor, because God has put things in perspective. I think you said it earlier, right? So as soon as I decided this is what I want to do and I'm all in, God just said, boop, 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 boop. He just put little checkpoints. I call them checkpoints in my life. And then through my career, that's like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to pay this. Oh, Tyrone, you got booked for this. Oh, okay, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, we're looking up for an actor or stuff. Would you be interested in doing this? This thing out the blue. People just hit me up out the blue sometimes, bro. But it's only because I'm consistent. And I'm consistent in my work, not just IG or other thing. I'm consistent in my work. People know what I do. It's not a mystery when you go to my page or pages. If I'm lifting, I'm on my lifting page. If I'm modeling acting, I'm on my acting page, because I separate the two brands, right? Because I just post more of my lifting stuff on one stuff and I post more of my acting and modeling stuff on another page. But it's all that same work, right? I told myself when I got into lifting, I don't really want to pay for supplements no more. Boom, I got sponsored by a supplement company. I told myself, shoot, if more people start working with me, I'll probably be able to promote more brands. Boom, start getting more brands, start marketing more brands, back to back to back, right? Everything wasn't paid at first or whatever, but I spoke it, and it became, because I told myself, I'm going to put the work in regardless. Yeah. I'm going to put the work in regardless. So you ain't got to worry about me putting the work in. The only thing I'm just looking for is the opportunity to prove myself that if I'm putting the work in and you invest in me, we gonna make sure your brain goes to where it's supposed to go.
Yes, sir. That's that's all facts. And yeah, I just want to give you your flowers now too. Like, I appreciate everything. You know, I'm definitely taking it all in and, you know, soaking up all the game and wisdom that you got, because I know, you know, of what you did to get here, and it's all been genuine. So I definitely want to give you your flowers on that. But yeah, we definitely about to wrap it up here in a second. But Gabe, can you throw 5 minutes on the clock for me?
Yeah, you want me to on the timer?
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you.
We got 5 minutes on the clock.
Okay, ready?
This is how we like to end the podcast right here. It's called a little 5 and 5. So I got 5 questions for you. You got 5 minutes to answer all 5 questions. Yeah, and Gabe gonna let you know how much when you got like a minute left and stuff. All right.
Okay, ready? Go.
Bet. First question is, what is most important? Health, wealth, or relationships, and why?
I'm gonna say health. And the only reason, because if you're not healthy mentally and physically and spiritually, you can diminish your relationships, because it's not an intentional thing, but sometimes it just happens because you're not right mental space and you're not right in the health space.
Bet. If you could talk to one person for an hour, who would it be and why?
Hey, who I'll talk about? I'm gonna just say
dead or alive.
Will Smith. Okay. I'll say Will Smith.
Okay.
Will Smith. Okay, and the reason why is because, I mean, he's been elevated, right? He started off as a rapper. Things didn't happen for him the second go around. Got Fresh Prince. Boom. He's out here.
If you had one word for the key to success, what would that be? One word.
Consistency.
What do you think is your one superpower?
Availability.
All right, like that. And then last and final question. What does prosperity mean to you?
Prosperity means wealth. And that's not a monetary thing. That's wealth of life. That's wealth of relationships. That's wealth of integrity. That's wealth of everything. To be prosperous is to be wealthy. And a lot of people think prosperity is a monetary thing, but it's not. It's an energy thing.
That's a boy. And yeah, that basically wraps up the pod. I appreciate you for coming on. Any last words you got for the people, Tyrone?
Man, I appreciate all the support. Yo, if you ever want to just follow me on IG or just check me out, follow me on IG at Tyrone Betters. Also, my lifting page is What's Going On TB. And yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on, bro. You already know we locked in. It's nice to meet you, Gabe. And just
nice to meet you, bro.
And however else, in whatever else capacity I can help or spread the word about anything, y'all just let me know.
So that's all we got. Gabe, you got anything left?
No, I just appreciate all the game that you just gave us for free, man. Like, a lot of people could have paid a lot of money just to hear that just now. So that was very valuable for a lot of people to hear. I hope people paid attention to everything that you just said.
Yes, and sir. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for this opportunity, man.
Yes, sir. Hope y'all took notes. But that wraps up episode 7 of the Prosper Performance Podcast. Catch y'all all next Wednesday, and peace.
Thanks, bro. Peace.